Candles. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Hey, it's Thursday, March 18th, 2021, and it is the third week here in the Big Brother Canada 9 house. I'm Dave Mader, joined with Jaemeel Robinson here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting, and we're here to cover the third eviction of this game. React to this whole episode and how everything played out from the to be continued we were left with last night with this cliffhanger, and overall just kind of break down this 8th episode. So, Jaemeel, how are you tonight?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Any reason why you would be doing better than other days?
Hey, it's a day I'm podcasting, and it's a day I'm talking to you. So I don't do that every day, although I do it many days. It's my birthday.
Yes.
You pulled it out of me. I was like, and happy birthday to your mom. I've learned that we have the same birthday, your mother and I.
Yes, both of you Pisces, wonderful people, respectable, relatable, and great communicators.
That's us, the Pisces.
Yeah,
the Pycons.
Yes,
if you're the Battlestar type. Yes, thank you, Jaemeel, and happy birthday, Mrs. Robinson. Here's to you, as the song goes. And Jaemeel, the business is at hand, though. There's no time for birthdays in the Big Brother game. This is what? Oh, actually, I have a clip here for you. It goes something a little bit like this.
It's war.
It's war.
Come for me, I'm coming for you.
Sorry,
it's war.
Like, I have been playing Big Brother, right?
Maybe I'd say so. Yes. Okay. So tonight, the headlines are: we see here that that from the to be continued, Jedson did not use the veto. We knew this, but this is where we went. We also see LaToya voted out here in a 6-3 vote, the first split vote of the House, really, in these 3 evictions so far. We also see a new HOH crowned by the end of this episode tonight in Kiefer, who was one of the 2 nominees, who was looking well, 3 votes went against them, but 3 of those 3 votes were the people from his own alliance. So there's probably fallout from that, or we'll see what Kiefer wants to do and who he wants to stay loyal to moving forward now that he has power. Although an impressive HOH. So Jaemeel, all of that. How are you feeling about tonight's episode?
I thought it was a pretty good episode. There was parts where I was just kind of like, I just kind of wanted to get to the next part. Just get to the next part. I have a question for you. You felt a certain ways about the to be continued. Do you think that it was a worthwhile endeavor to kind of leave us with a cliffhanger, or should they have just stuffed in that power veto and just start afresh at the beginning of the episode?
Yeah, I don't think we needed it. I don't think that the juice was worth the squeeze in this particular example. I don't think that there was enough animosity or sort of real thing about using it. Oh, and thank you, my wife, for the birthday wishes.
Yeah.
Thank you. She's most wonderful wife in the world. And thank you for spoiling me so much on my birthday, Jane. Yes, but. Yeah, I don't think that it starts off, we get through it, and even the sort of aftermath of this is sort of a little bit of a letdown. I think the first maybe 5 or 10 minutes, not quite, of this episode, it's kind of a slow start.
until the table conversation, there wasn't really any fireworks. It would just seem like pretty straightforward, although there is the little tidbit that happened right after the ceremony where Victoria went to talk to talk to Jed right after, which it's like, why would you do that? Why?
This whole I agree that and Jane felt the same, that this little thing, she's like, I never would have put up tie, I know you won't believe this, or whatever she says to him, and it just makes, she doesn't come across as genuine. If she's looking to repair her relationship with Jedson, she definitely did the opposite there. That's just thumbing her nose at Jedson, and it was just yes. Just to that same question about Spicy V, she kind of says, am I playing Big Brother?
Like, I have been playing Big Brother, right?
Well, yes, but I don't know if it's a strategy that's a winning strategy. Maybe that's the better comment.
The way I look at it is, if I put paint on my hands and then put my hands in front of my face like this, and I run head first into the canvas, I'm painting. Am I? Yeah, really?
Well, yeah, like what? It's that's pretty subjective. Yeah. So how do we define a lot of abstract art versus just mess?
I get the paint on the canvas, just like how Victoria is playing Big Brother, but yeah, there's better ways to play it, and
I wouldn't say it's a sleek, efficient. It's not a smooth game. It's but it's a direct game, and it sure as hell is an entertaining game to watch.
yes,
I loved this week with this Victoria HOH. I think that it was exactly what this season needed at the right time, and this Kiefer HOH. That was the outcome here tonight. Was kind of what you were saying you wanted to happen. You kind of wanted to see Kiefer get power here and see what happens and how this would shake up the game. And quite frankly, like, I have to agree. Like, I did my only reservation would be if Kiefer just stays with Jedson, Beth, and Ty moving forward, and what that looks like. But I think he's more likely to stay with Tina and kind of maybe go whichever way she's directing.
You know what? I felt that way a couple of days ago, but not anymore. I think he's going to put up Kyle and Roe, but what needs to happen is Ty and Jed need to continue talking, because what I feel is going to happen is the same thing what's going to happen to Victoria this week, and there's going to be bigger fish to fry, and people are going to absolutely ignore what happened this week with Victoria's messy HOH, and they're going to go after Kai and Ro. Maybe one of them are going to be gone. But the aftermath the following week is Kiefer's not going to be looked at as a target. It's going to be one of Ted and Thing, and they're just going to keep bouncing back, right? And Kiefer's going to be more or less in a kind of position like Tina and Tara, because right now Kiefer has the narrative where he can put up those two. He can literally put up those two, and it wouldn't seem like it's an alliance-based conversation.
Right. True. And he has all this beef publicly with Ro and Kyle. For him not to put them up would almost be suspicious.
Yes.
It would then people say, well, maybe all that was staged, and maybe Kyle and Kiefer have always been working together,
or they're going to backdoor someone, or Kyle.
This is a backdoor, or there's a guys alliance, or who knows.
Absolutely.
Right. So there's a lot of different possibilities, a lot of different ways this can be perceived, and so Kiefer has to kind of look at. He's got to think about how he's going to be perceived by the Jedson, Ty, Beth faction. He's got to consider how maybe the rest of these the oddballs and his like sort of. I guess Tina and Tara, who are also kind of loyal to him too. And I think that in terms of who he's likely to listen to the most, it's probably Tina and Tara.
Yeah, I would agree.
So,
and I think Tina and Tara they're kind of playing in the middle, which is fine. And if Kiefer decides to take out a Sunsetter, it's basically over for that entire alliance. And then that's the entire other side of the house. But if he puts up Ro and Kyle, one, he hasn't made any promises to the other side of the house, especially the Victorias, who technically did not have him as a target. And
but still put him up.
She put him up, yes, but
Austin and Victoria both put Kiefer up,
correct,
right? So I think he doesn't know anything to either of them.
True, he could put both of them up, Austin and Vic, and then use a backdoor plan to get rid of Kyle. But I don't think you need to.
But if he does that, then he's entrenching himself with the other side, right? If he goes after, especially if he goes after Victoria and Austin, but even if he goes after Kyle and Rohan, it would make more sense. Like Tina and Tara were there for Pantrygate. They saw it. They saw what Kyle did, how aggressive he was, and so it would especially make sense, and they would be justified in saying, it would be fine. And as Tara said tonight,
let the snakes fight the snakes.
Yeah.
Let the snakes fight the snakes. And Tara and Tina are in this beautiful middle position, floater sort of aligned with both sides, but not really.
TNT.
Kind of TNT. And they're well poised here. And so this Kiefer win serves them probably the best, more than anything here.
I was so happy.
They both
Kiefer
voted to
won.
keep Kiefer too.
Yeah, I was so happy that Kiefer won. I did not want. What was it? Austin was in the.
Austin was the other. So Austin goes out there and ties. And so, yeah, we'll come back to the episode, but just as we're on this HOH, which was called Seniors Discount.
Did you like this?
It was shuffleboard. It's fine. It's like, it's no better or worse than playing mini putt or anything else. It was quick. It allowed us to do everybody get a turn. It seemed fair, and it was easy to understand. So it was fine. Yeah. It's for a quick, like on the air, you sort of have only a limited amount of time to show this. This worked well, I thought. So Tara's first. She gets a 7. Kiefer comes out, gets a 10, which is the highest score you can get. Right. The best you can do is tie Kiefer now.
Yeah.
So like Kiefer has shown himself to be pretty good at many competitions, actually. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting to see.
It's just the crossroad one. He was just really out of it.
That one, he was out of it, but I think that maybe that was because there was a lot of stair climbing. I'm not quite sure, but he was really strong at this. Kyle comes up next. He gets an 8, which is not good enough. Braden he kind of goes off into the corner near the 10. He was
love this, love it.
Braden, no, you don't like your 1. Jedson gets a 9, not good enough. Mm-hmm. Beth a 4. It was kind of not good. And then Austin comes out, boom, 10, ties Kiefer, throws down the gauntlet, and goes for it. Maybe makes herself a bigger target in the process. Tina was a disqualification, a DQ. She went right off the board. Ty, and also a 9, not quite good enough. Yeah. Again, Austin and Kiefer showing them up in Jedson and Ty, and then Rowe, which is the 4. So we get this tiebreaker. Kiefer throws up a 9, and Austin just a 7. So that's what leads to this. But
okay, do you think
Kiefer
should have a conversation with Austin and say that he's not going to put her up? I think that's a promise you can make, and inroads to like a relationship that you can kind of build and say, "Look, I'm not going to put you up. I still have to think about Victoria and the rest, like everyone else. Like I already told everyone that I'm not going to be tossing out names or anything like that, but I just want to let you know that I do realize that you put me up. I'm going to let bygones be bygones. You got a 10, so you could have been HOH too. So in terms of good faith, I'm not going to put you up. But I can't tell you who my target is. I still need to figure out, who I'm going to put up. But
yeah, like that would be a smart, just to throw that out there while you're in the final 2 and see if he goes for it, see if he can kind of reconcile anything here, or because like if Kiefer and Austin go deep in this game, which I think there's a good chance that both of them will at this rate, then they might be working together in the long term into like the final 6, even, who knows. So they, even if they are on different sides right now, might behoove them.
Any chance you get an opportunity to make promises that you can easily keep, you go ahead and do it. All right, it builds trust, and Kiefer needs a little bit of character building right now in terms of the other side. Right, so
Kiefer needs to rebuild his whole image, and so this HOH will be how he does it. His future in this game will be sort of made or broken, maybe, on how he plays this out. So it's good that he won. Especially after being on the block for 2 consecutive weeks, he needed this, especially now, and it's very clutch of him. But he also needs to consider, what's his long term, who are his allies, who are his enemies after this, and how, and who's likely to win HOH next week after this.
Yep.
Just in terms of this, I just want to talk about this whole thing, what happened after the veto ceremony. We had Kiefer talking to Jedson and Ty for a bit, and but Kiefer he knows he's at the bottom of the Sunsetter Alliance. He knows that that actually might save him, and he has to sort of like play low key and hope that they vote out LT instead of him, and that's what happens. So he plays this right. He played Kiefer. He's not a bad player, but he did get caught trying to play both sides and trying to help Latoya in her flip, and this is he had to kind of suffer. So that has to play into his mind. What do I want to do after this vote? And we're going to see. That's kind of exciting. Yeah. Like you were saying, like this is the right thing we need for this season. This story needs this.
It's an interesting narrative that we're seeing, right? He's so good at playing dead, though. It's like I've seen some players through the time. He is really great for a player who is still playing that's playing dead. Just fantastic.
Absolutely.
Right? But
yeah,
I'm really interested to see how he kind of where is he looking for long term, because if he thinks about the Sunsetters, he's not going to be anyone's first choice. Ty's not going to take him over Jed or Beth, right? And neither the other ones. So in terms of the Sunsetter, he's the fourth option. He is the fourth option. So he needs to start putting in work and see what he can build off of this week, even if he does take a shot at the other side, as we were kind of mentioned with it possibly being Keith and Rowe as the people he puts up. He can still look good after this week is over if he plays his cards properly.
Yes. So I think we'll see how smart of a player Kiefer really is after this. But he was also sort of a part of this trash talk session that Victoria overheard. She was apparently in a chair. They didn't know they were there. I kind of saw that the Sunsetters were all sitting together, or a lot of them were. It was at least Ty, Latoya. I think Kiefer was there. I think Jedson was there. I think Beth too. I'm not sure if Tina was also there or not. Probably. I don't think Tina.
Tina was in the. Yeah, it wasn't Tina.
Tina wasn't at that dinner. So, but they were. I don't remember everything she said, but they weren't nice things necessarily. They were sort of talking about her being. Do you recall anything specific?
No, like once again, up until that point, I'm like, oh my gosh, can we just move on with this? It just seems so monotonous, and I didn't know what was going to come after that. So I kind of was kicking myself about it. Regardless, it wasn't good stuff that they were saying about Victoria.
No, they felt like when they got caught, they were like, uh-oh. So if they feel uh-oh about it, they kind of know what, that they've been caught, and what they were doing wasn't necessarily the noblest things, or they weren't saying the nicest things, or things that they would want her to hear directly. Right. Yeah, so at least not in the present moment.
Don't say stuff unless you're in closed doors, and like you don't say stuff like that. Now, what that was exactly, don't know, but it was bad enough that you shouldn't have said it within earshot. And then even when they're like, well, she couldn't have heard it. It's did she? And then she's like, yes. They're like, what?
Yes, I did. Yeah, even from across the room, she's like, yes, I heard you. I have a very good hearing. That's my superpower.
Oh my gosh. And then they're like, what'd you say yes to? And it's like, oh no, Austin just asked me a question. But it was like they knew that she knew, and she was just playing coy. My gosh, they came across as such scummy people.
Yeah, right? They did. They didn't come across very well. They were very trashy in this moment, and so she goes up and talks to Kyle, and who else is there? Austin's there, and so this is where Victoria declares that it's
war. Come for me, I'm coming for you.
Come for me, I'm coming for you.
Oh my gosh.
Again, like, are you a good player, Victoria? You are fun to watch. Anyway, so then guess what? We don't have time for all this drama. It's time for bingo with OLG to win a pizza party, Jaemeel. And it's all fun and games here with these random. I guess these were randomly assigned teams because kind of they weren't following alliances or anything. It was just kind of different people on different sides here. But there was a couple different things where they had to scratch it off and do dares. They had to, there was a series of things, and Beth had to do the alphabet backwards. First of all, it's Zed, Beth. I don't know if this is an Alberta thing, Beth, but it's Zed. Okay,
I knew that would come up. I knew that would come up.
I just got, come on, this is Big Brother Canada. But then it kind of all made sense when she couldn't really do it. She got, what did she only get to X?
No, she got to, I think it was when she got to T. When she got to T, I think she said UT, you know, TU. No, she said UTUT.
Yeah,
And then
she
she just fell
repeated the
apart.
UT. She fell apart.
You
Of
know,
it. I know my ABCs.
I know a person who can do it in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I just come. It wasn't the Beth's okay with it. I think she was all in on the joke. Braden had to go into the hot tub with his clothes on. It was humiliating. Humiliating. He didn't.
Love this. Love it.
That's my new Braden quote.
With the music in the background, this sounds like the score of the season sounds like it's supposed to be like a carnival big top. Like there's a little bit too much clown music in my opinion.
I feel like it's a
Circus
clown
music.
car theme. That's the
Yeah.
theme of the season.
Oh my gosh.
And then I don't know. They're doing all kinds of things. Kiefer's doing something with a bottle. Kyle's smashing eggs on his head. She's rolling a potato with her nose, Jaemeel. There's all kinds of things going on here. She was being a snake, maybe.
Let the snakes fight the snakes.
She was like, let the snakes push the potatoes across the floor and win the pizza party.
Which challenge that you saw were you at least like, oh, that looks fun?
Of everything they did?
Yeah.
None of it was like stuck. I wasn't I wasn't really like, oh, I wish I was there doing smashing eggs on my head. It didn't occur to me at any point. Did it for you?
No, I would once again. The outcome I understand, but this seems like more of a Wednesday type of kind of showcase as opposed to a Thursday just before eviction. I don't necessarily want to see that. I want to see more gameplay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this kind of went on, and we get the winning team is Austin, Kiefer, Tara, Rohan, Beth. I think that was it, and so they get to pick. That team got to pick somebody to be the OLG, wear the punishment suit with the cartoon hands, and that was Braden going, love this, which I don't sure. Like, he's getting a lot of attention. Braden, he gets skipped the dishes. He gets to wear the suit. He's sort of like a mascot for this season.
I think the other side is trying to get more screen time for Braden because they know he hasn't done anything. So,
yeah, the other side, they're like talking to producers. Can you get Braden on the show? Can you like give him a suit to wear? That would be great. Can you make him an OLG bingo ball? He'll be very happy. We get a scene with Tina and Beth outside. Tina's not happy, and she, this is where they talk about let the snakes eat the snakes. That Tina and Tara got to play this middle part, and I think that they're well poised, like we said, they're well positioned, and I'm starting to see a part of Tara that I haven't seen up until now. That she's a little bit more aware, but she's kind of hiding in Tina's shadow. That's her strategy. Yeah. She is the floater amongst the floaters.
I like the work that she put in this episode, especially giving Tina that room. We've seen it before. Tina does not like to be dictated as to what she's supposed to do. So with Tara going, hey, you know what? We can talk strategy, and you might have a plan that's different. That might not involve myself. I know we're loyal to each other, and you're just talking through whatever plan you make. Whoever you vote for, I understand. She's like gave her a wide berth to like make her own decision, like a partner, as opposed to we're doing this, we're voting out this, like the Sunsetters were really doing. And also from that conversation, Tina divulges that the other side actually came to her previously to be a part of the alliance.
So she's telling Tara that the oddballs want her.
Yes.
Right. So does Tara already know about the Sunsetters?
I would assume so. I think everyone knows about the Sunsetters, minus the fact that
that Tina's in there.
The name specifically.
The name specifically,
Yeah,
and is only Tara aware that Tina had an affiliation to it.
Yeah, I think she's divulged that, right? I think she's divulged it.
It seems like Tara's aware. I'm just trying to figure out if it's kind of common knowledge or if it's still more less common knowledge amongst the players. I'm not quite sure. That'd be I'd like we can look into that.
Clarification, yeah, on that.
Clarification, yeah. So yeah, but it was a lot of time spent on this. But I liked this scene, and then we get the let the snakes attack the snakes, which very Survivor.
Let the snakes fight the snakes.
Like the snakes, that the rat eats the snakes, or everything else. Like Suhawk.
It's Suhawk's speech.
The tribe has spoken.
Yeah,
You're just itching for that Survivor.
I was like, if I can tie it to Survivor, I can play a Jeff Probst. And that's all. And then I've cried. Then my birthday wishes come true. The vote. The live vote comes up. But guess what? Don't worry, Brayden. I know you've had to wear this costume for the entire episode since the second commercial break. But you don't worry, Brayden. You're out. He's like, yay! You can get out right after this. You can put on.
I thought it was for the full week. Honestly,
it probably was, but like you said last night, that they had to fit like 3 or 4 days worth of stuff into this episode. I'm not sure when this bingo thing happened exactly, how many days ago, and how many days he was wearing this costume, but it didn't feel long in the episode.
Yeah, I will agree.
Because you kind of always feel like, okay, because the episode airs on Wednesday, the veto episode, that what you're seeing on Thursday is kind of what happened maybe Tuesday or Wednesday into Thursday. Like you're seeing kind of what's happened over the last 3 days, but this was maybe a little bit longer. It felt like it was maybe over the last 4 or 5 days even, in terms of how the edit went.
I think that bingo game was, I think, Tuesday. So yeah, because Monday was the or Monday morning was the veto. So I think it could have been Monday evening or probably Tuesday. Monday, yeah, possibly.
But then the vote happened, and so LT goes out here. Latoya goes out in a 6-3 vote. Only Jedson, Beth, and Ty voting to keep her. Did she know this was coming, Jaemeel?
I think she had a very strong belief about it, and the way that everyone was kind of reacting, I would have figured that if it was indeed a blindside, there would have been like, holy, they would have got the facial reactions.
There was a scene earlier we didn't quite talk about, which was Tina and Beth, like where Beth was kind of being kind of weird to Tina, like, why don't you stay loyal to us, Tina?
Beth, is just stop. Just stop. Just stop. You're embarrassing.
I know my ABCs.
She knows about ABCs. She knows about alliances. She knows how to stay loyal.
Yeah. Beth, just simmer down.
You're holding on by your fingernails. Come on.
Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, did Jedson, Beth, and Ty know that they were going to be on the wrong side of this vote? And if they did, would they have still voted the way they did?
I think they were going to vote for it regardless. There's nothing they can do. What is voting for having a unanimous vote? What is that really going to do for them?
Well, there's a mindset in Big Brother and maybe the recent years that, anytime you're on the other side, you're on the minority side of a vote, and Survivor sometimes carries this theory too. If you're on the minority side of a vote, therefore you're on the minority side of the power structure. Now, in Survivor, this carries more weight because it's just majority rules in terms of who gets voted out. In Big Brother, there's the HOH and the veto that allows minority alliances and groups, pairings to sort of wield a lot more power than they have numbers. Mm-hmm. So it's not as pure to numbers as Survivor is. But yeah, but Jedson, in theory, even when Victoria had that one vote again, in the first vote when they got out. Julie in the first vote, and Victoria was one of the only ones who voted the other way. There was some feeling like, okay, well, Victoria's kind of an outcast, or she sort of stands out now. As you get deeper in the game, I think that this mindset tends to sort of fade a bit. The players are, they know that they have to go after each other eventually, but when the numbers are a little bit bigger, there's maybe more of a feeling like, well, as long as I'm sort of I'm sort of with the majority still. I'm still in the big group. I'm not sort of in the smaller minority who are going to get picked off by like the bigger thing. It's just a way to play it safe.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm kind of think like if would Jedson, and I think Jedson, Ty, and Beth kind of know. At least Jedson and Ty I think know this. I don't know what Beth knows, but I think that so intentionally casting votes to save LaToya when you know it's like a futile enterprise is sort of maybe not the best thing. The only thing I can think is they thought they had Tina and Tara with they were going to vote with them tonight.
Wouldn't that would have made it 5? They would have had their 5.
They would have had the 5, and there was 9 voting, so that would have been enough. So I think that that it's a great thing that Kiefer won for Tina and Tara again, because Kiefer is very loyal, I think, to Tina and Tara. He seems to be more than he would be maybe to Ty and Jedson, especially after this.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Now, but there's no new love with like Rohan and Kyle. So he sort of has to think about, okay, yeah, so Jedson and Ty don't have my back, but they're not coming for me like Rohan or Kyle potentially are. So he's got a lot of things to weigh against, like we're saying, he's got a very delicate tightrope to walk here in his HOH in terms of his long-term future. The benefit is that Kiefer is just a nice guy who I think even if his HOH maybe is not great, he can probably still rebound from it. He's rebounded pretty well so far.
He is one of those personalities where we're not going to see consistent, awesome Dan level or even Cody or Derek or he's not going to be an all-star based upon his skill set in terms of strategy. He's going to do it because he can build relationships and good enough at comms and being lucky as hell for the most part.
Yeah, he's Jane's got him in the draft. Speaking of which, we have to talk about LaToya and crossing her off the board. But I feel like Kiefer, he seems to be the comeback kid so far. If I had to dub him anything, that's where he's looking at. We kind of talked about the HOH, but let's talk LaToya. What did you think of LaToya's exit interview?
Lord, oh my gosh, I don't know what's up with her at all. It just seemed kind of like out of touch, and she seems angry. All right, or disappointed by some of the answers.
It's not what she wanted for this. I like experience. Yeah, I understand for her. I get it.
But like, it's not like she had a harder time than Josh and Julie did. All right, so why is she so mad? You ran your race and you didn't win. It happens, right? Does it look like she enjoyed the experience of being on Big Brother Canada?
I'd say yes. I think she did, but not as much as she wanted it to be. I think she might still be disappointed and still enjoy it. Like, just to sort of, just look at what this is and cross another player off. So LaToya here is evicted on day 16. She's 12th. She didn't come here to be 12th place, Jaemeel.
Yeah.
Yep. My future sister-in-law, Amanda, had her. She went second overall in our draft, LaToya. She looked strong in all of her preliminary preseason kind of stuff, but it wasn't meant to be. It didn't quite go that way, and she goes out here. So we are going to cross her off here, and also down here, just where Amanda has her. Amanda only has Rohan left now.
I think she's going to be okay for a bit.
Yeah, I think Amanda. We'll see. I don't think Rohan's anybody's like first pick to get out now. I think there's a lot of other things that can happen. Unless
Kyle comes down and it's only Rohan left, I think Rohan will get eliminated.
Potentially.
Well, obviously based upon if the other person in who's put on the block against him is someone who's at least very desirable, like an Austin or a Victoria. I think that they would keep either of those two above Rohan.
Yes, I think that there's a good chance of that too. Yes, and That kind of like now that we've crossed Latoya off and she's done. I guess we can all there's left to do is speculate about what's left to come. So we talked about Kiefer.
Let me ask you a question. Maybe that's one of the reasons why they kept the veto for this episode. Because when we're breaking it down, not much is there to discuss. It kind of like was very, after that, just before that veto, everything else that kind of played out is just like dominoes falling one after the other in a line, right? Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, this was kind of...
No, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I just like I'm kind of thinking about what if I was Kiefer, what do I want to do with this? Do I want is Ro and Kyle just the easy thing to do? Probably is, but you think so?
Oh yeah, it's a slam dunk. I think he has no other option. If he puts anyone else up, there is going to be questions and bad blood about it.
They might even say
That's a little sus.
Little sus. He can't put up Austin and Victoria, right? You can't put.
He could. I think that if he's not going to put, but
we've already talked through why it isn't a good plan, though.
Yeah. Like I think he puts up Ro. Okay, he puts up Kyle and Ro. Let's say Kyle pulls himself down or is saved or whatever. Who does Kiefer target, or who does Kiefer put up next to Rohan? Because in that scenario, I think you'd have to think, well, I want Rohan to go. He already told Rohan, I'm done with you, dog.
Or Tara.
Well, you would only put Tara up if he kind of wants Ro to go, I think, because I don't think anyone wants to get Tara out before Rohan.
Yeah, and I think Ro should be the target if he can get Kyle.
Right. And vice versa. If Rohan pulled himself down, then Tara would still go up next to Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So is this week going to be as fun as Victoria's HOH week?
If the various parties jockey for position, they will. I think this is where, like, if you're on an alliance where you just lost, this is where you kind of have to eat some crow, play smart, and don't make like a big splash. Just like be very methodical in terms of your planning, right? You want Kyle Rohan out if you're a sunsetter, right? If you're a non-sunsetter, you want one of the Ty and Jed to be out. You can sell that you're gonna like, but you have to also look at what Kiefer is doing and Kiefer's motivations.
why would Kiefer want to put Tara up? Tara is somebody he's friends with.
Tara isn't on either side of the household, right? And Rohan or Kyle, if they're left on the block, you want to make sure that you are minimizing the amount of blood that you have on your hand, and you don't have any promises you need to make. Who are you offending by putting up Tara? You're offending what's called again, Tina, right? And even
I'm just trying to think from Kiefer's standpoint. Like, okay, and I'm also thinking about what's likely to happen here with like Tara and Tina come to him and say, "Hey, we voted to save you. We've probably burned a bridge on some level with Ty and Jedson. As much as you might have beef with Ro and Kyle, we can probably manage that. So you can even put up Ro and Kyle, and then let's say one of them comes down, and you put up Jedson next to Kyle, right?"
There's not going to be enough vote. If you put Jedson up, there's not enough votes to send Kyle home.
That's okay. I'm saying that Tarantino will sell that as, don't worry, we can manage Kyle and we can diffuse this thing between you two, and we can keep Kyle sort of at bay, and we can sort of play this thing out so that Jedson and Ty don't necessarily go for the veto too hard or anything like that. So you can play both sides by putting Ro and Kyle up, and then just have a sort of a side deal with them saying, or at least one of the two of them saying, the plan is to take one of you down and put you up next to Jedson or Ty, or even Beth. and just see and we can get one of them out without really sort of a whole week of having to worry about campaigning or sort of any kind of flipping of alliances.
That might be a little bit too cute.
It probably is too cute. I think it's probably too cute for Kiefer's style. I think he's more likely, hey, put up Rowan Kyle. And like, if he is truly done, he doesn't want to have sort of a relationship with them, or he just thinks that like it's too risky to even consider that they could be playing him or vice, whatever. That just get one of them out. It protects his position. He only has to worry about one of them putting him up next week.
Yep. And if he plays his cards right, and if Jed, Beth, or Ty say anything about the other side, that's where the anger is going to be directed at concerning it. I think Roe, if he's able to survive and Kyle's the one voted off, I think Roe would mourn his friend, but also kind of respect it. It's just a game move. And then just, he would be able to move on. I think you can mend bridges. I think you can mend a bridge with Rohan. I don't think you can mend a bridge with Kyle. Kyle's not that personality where you can put him on the block and he'll be okay with it.
No, I agree. I think that Rohan's more likely to forgive and sort of be willing to put that behind him and kind of think about the long-term goal, which is winning the game. So I think Rohan seems to be a smarter player in that fact. And I think the alliance of the oddballs, maybe Kiefer won, we got to lose a number this week, and maybe Kyle's the sacrificial lamb, if you will.
Yeah. And deep down, Victoria's probably like, good, because he was talking crap about me in terms of Kyle.
Yeah, she's like, good. You were an alternate anyway. You weren't even supposed to be here. It was supposed to be Ethan Quantz or whatever his name was. And you were too boring to be cast, but instead we needed you. Throw him in, coach. Get him out from the minors.
I'm gonna send you back to AAA, dude. See you next time on Big Brother.
He is. Kyle would have been a AAA player. He wasn't quite ready yet. He might have been a Big Brother candidate 10. So, hey, go back, work on your character a little bit, how your diary room sessions, and we'll see you in a year, Give you another chance then, kid. You're only 26.
Oh my gosh. It's so good. Oh my god.
I love his quote here, Kyle. I think I was chosen because I am a charismatic and athletic guy who loves taking risks and has lived an interesting life. I've seen nothing interesting about him. I've seen no real risks. I've seen him play dumb. I've seen very little in terms of athletics.
Play pool, play dumb, and just play the fool in terms of shouting at people.
And the charismatic part is mixed at best. He seems to have a bit of a charm and a rapport with certain people. And I think he can be a nice guy when he wants to be. But I don't think he's also got this edge to him.
I think back to how Ty relates to people, and people that are against the Sunsetters still like Ty. Kyle is nowhere near as charismatic or able to relate to people as well as Ty, right? So I think that will say something. I think that if they had to choose one person to get eliminated, they would take Kyle in a second.
Okay, then tell me about this. Like my player Ty, I have Tara, who I'm feeling better about after tonight, and I have Ty. Is anyone coming for Ty before Jedson?
No. Not to
that bodes well for me.
Yeah.
In the draft. I'm feeling good about Ty right now, even though he's not in the strong position he was like 2 weeks ago. But I didn't really want him to play from that position because I thought that he would be
gone. He'd be a second week boot if he was being like very aggressive. LaToya got a lot of the heat because LaToya is that type of upfront, type of person, and it didn't serve her well. If she was able to learn to kind of take a step back, I think she would have been in a better position.
Do you think that without LaToya, that Jedson and Ty might be unleashed? They might go out there and they might just make even dumber moves than they've made.
Jed, maybe, yes, but not so much Ty.
Okay. Interesting. Yes. I Jedson's just so, I find Jedson very emotional. Despite him being a Virgo.
very emotional, where Ty is a lot more emotionally adult.
Yes. What's Ty? Ty is a Capricorn. Very grounded. Yes. I don't know. I don't know what I want to happen here with Kiefer's HOH, but I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see how this plays out. On I guess on Monday we'll be back to talk about how whose nominations are. It's a long time for now.
It's so far away.
We're gonna get an episode on Monday that's gonna be everything from basically when we off the air about an hour ago to Monday afternoon probably.
Yeah.
So that will
till Sunday because we have to see the preamble prior to the veto.
Right. Okay. So we'll see 3 days then: Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Sunday morning, and then Sunday evening, Monday morning, and probably the afternoon will be the veto. That'll be shown on Wednesday of next week, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be the eviction episode.
Okay. And so we'll see Kiefer's HOH room. We'll see. I'm sure we'll get some things with his family. With his he's married, I believe, and children. Maybe he'll read a letter. It'd be good. Yeah.
He gets a fake skate deck.
Yeah, he's good.
I don't know why I have that in my head, but I could just imagine Kiefer has like skateboard decks, like small ones that he collects.
Probably, I can see that. Yes.
He does a skateboard. He just has a skateboard deck.
And then they'll have to go up to his HOH room, which I think is always the worst, especially if you're kind of going to be one of the nominees this week, and you have to go up to the HOH room, and they're like, "Look at all my stuff, and look at these pictures," and you're like, "Yeah, I love this, but I really hate this right now, and I don't want to be here because I know you're going to put me up." And
when he sees his kids, he's going to get very emotional seeing his wife and the kids who he's been away from.
Yeah. I think Kiefer is already where he was well received. He was voted as a captain early on. That he's likely be popular amongst the fans. I think he still is, and that and I think that's part of the reason we get these family visits. That only serves to make you more endearing to the audience. The more the audience loves you and is invested in you, whether it be Big Brother Survivor, The Hunger Games, whatever, it's going to make for a more engaging event for the fans, which is great.
I agree.
And
who do you think he's taking to Wendy's? Who is he taking to Wendy's?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question. Who's Kiefer taking to Wendy's? He's taking Tina.
Yes, agreed. I agree with you. That's the first thing that popped in my head. You don't want to pick a side. You go with Tina.
Tina's the safest one he can take.
Yeah.
Because it will offend nobody.
I agree. It's like the two captains. We were the two captains, so my fellow captain, I want to take you. We kind of mentioned that we were going to do it like weeks ago. So
will Kiefer have to pick the have-nots?
I hope he does.
Okay, and who would he pick? And he can't pick any of the four that were picked last week.
Yeah, so Braden, sorry, not Braden. Sorry, Ty, Jed, Tara, and Victoria.
Victoria. All right. Jed and Victoria living in the ball pit for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's more there's more chances for them to talk and get against each other. Ammunition for the following week, where if Jed and Ty win, they're going after Victoria. Right? Possibly. Right? If Kyle and Rohan win, they're going after Jed and Ty.
Well,
that's
do you think
neither of which is Kiefer. That's
an interesting thing you brought up, because I'm just wondering, what's gonna? Okay, let's say Jed and Ty say, I know you really want to put up Ro and Kyle, and we get it, but after this last week, we really think you should go after Victoria. Can Kiefer talk, even if that's not better for Kiefer's game, but can he talk these allies, these Sunsetter allies that he may want to sort of keep in his back pocket into this? or sort of just keep them at bay.
He can say that he's going to backdoor Victoria, which doesn't make any sense.
It wouldn't make any sense. Why do we have to backdoor Victoria?
Yeah. Honestly, he has to do what's best for his game. I think at this point, you guys are in a weak position. This makes the most sense. This doesn't rock the boat. It will, but like from a perception angle, if we take a shot at these specific guys, then it's going to be or Victoria and someone else. Because if look, Victoria doesn't make sense because if you put up Kyle and Victoria, like you have too many shots of people taking down who you want to get eliminated or who the presentation of is to get eliminated. It's gonna look a certain type of ways if they put Vic and Kyle up and Victoria goes home. It's not gonna look right.
Here's an even okay. Is Jedson bold enough to think that he can push Kiefer into doing what's better for his game than what's better for Kiefer's game? Does Jedson feel like because he's now that LaToya's gone, maybe Jedson thinks he's the head of this alliance, and Kiefer needs to do something to help even though he voted against him tonight.
I think Kiefer is going to be able to stand up to that.
But is Jedson bold enough to try it?
There's going to be conversations. It's possible. It's definitely possible.
Because I wouldn't, if I were Jedson, there's no way. If I voted to save one alliance member and the other alliance member got voted out, and I was on the minority side, and then that alliance member who I didn't vote to save is HOH, I would feel terrible. I would go, this went very badly for me. But I think Jedson, as everything I've seen out of Jedson so far, is like, no, I'm the MVP of this alliance. And Kiefer, it's like a fluke. You won the shuffleboard, and you have to do what I say.
And Kiefer's like, that ain't it, dog. That ain't it. I'm done.
I'm done with you, dog.
I'm done with you.
I gotta go back.
That's the t-shirt. That's the t-shirt right there.
That's the Kiefer t-shirt. I'm done with you, dog. Damn, I've got to go back and get that clip. But yes, it's I think this is fun. This is fun. It will. I don't think it's going to be as flashy, definitely, as this Victoria HOH. What could be, but this will be fun. I think to see how Kiefer navigates this and just what the board is going to look like when the dust settles after next week.
Yep.
Is even if it's okay. Let's say like Kyle goes out and now
Roe's going to be looking for revenge, but I think Roe's going to put in work where he's.
Well, I think Austin and Victoria potentially are looking for revenge too. They're not going to be happy if they lose Kyle.
I don't think they like.
Or Braden.
I don't think they like Kyle that much.
He's a number though.
Yeah, he's a number, but like Roe was the one that they really wanted.
Roe's the one that is the connection, but right now they're in a war, like Victoria said. Like this is war.
But they can still walk away and be fine because
they can lose Kyle. They can lose Kyle without like being devastated.
And then you can pull in Tara.
Yes, they can lose Kyle, but why lose them if you don't need to when you have like these antagonists, maybe in Ty and Jedson in particular, and Beth.
True, but if you're left in a situation and you're down in numbers, they can easily restock their numbers with Tara. I don't think the Sunsetters have that ability, right? Where they can pull Tara in.
No, but I think they can.
They think, certainly they think they can. I don't think it's going to happen, which is great when a side of the house has the thought process that they have more control than they actually do. Yeah. And I think that shot in the mouth is great. It's a slow motion thing that we're seeing. That train is coming to them, regardless of what Kiefer does. I think that Sunsetters are going to get another smack in the mouth again, and it's going to be great to see what the reaction is going to be.
Kiefer's like, I'm using this HOH to get Beth out.
It's like,
I know my ABCs.
I know them. Stop it.
Oh,
I'm
please.
stopping this before it even starts. As she
Oh
would
my
say
gosh.
to tie there. Okay, well, I don't know if there's much more to say about this week. This was a really fun HOH Victoria. Great to kind of see these two sides bubble up. This season's been a lot of fun so far, and we hope you feel the same way too. And we hope you'll join us Monday as we'll see what Kiefer actually does with his nominations, and if everything we speculated about was right or not. Maybe we were completely wrong, and somehow Austin and Braden end up on this block or something. We
That'd
didn't
be
even
so
think of.
weak. That'd be so weak.
It wouldn't happen, but I'm just saying maybe we're completely out to lunch. I don't think so. I think we know our stuff, Jaemeel.
Yep. That's why I haven't been hired for the show. Know too much.
Yeah, they're like, this guy, he just knows too much. We can't do it. Like, he would just run the board. It wouldn't make for good TV. We need a player like.
I would make Victoria look sane.
I think you would just play like full out, just complete risk taker. You would.
No, I don't think so. I think I would be very calculated. I think I would be closer to Ty minus the physical game, and Josh minus the psycho stalker vibe that he gives off to people. I think I would be focusing more on the social aspect than the actual, like. I think the social aspect would be my strong suit, and the carnival games.
I like to think I would play like a Tina.
I would figure so too. You are very agreeable. People relate to what you're saying. The way you convey messages and information is something that you're like, Dave is talking to make sense, as opposed to Victoria. You're like, what?
I got most of it, but not quite all of it.
That doesn't make any sense. You're kind of talking in circles. Like Victoria will talk someone into fatigue, whereas Tina will talk people very shortly into understanding. Right? No one necessarily like disagrees from Tina's perspective and point of view. Right?
Right.
Which is a skill that other people did not.
Well, I would be very if I could. Tina, who is a player, I am pleased with. She's playing a subtle, quiet game, but that's all right. And I think that she's very well positioned, as we said a few times over this week. And coming out of this, she's the best of the Sunsetters in terms of what her image is.
And even though it's not as flashy as other ones, she's putting in a lot of work. She is working hard, and she's doing a great job of playing in the middle. So I know people are excited, like, yes, Victoria, tell them sis and, queen and everything like that. But when setting yourself for the end, Victoria still has a bigger mountain to climb than Tina does. Tina, who has not won a challenge, not been an HOH, but at the very least has done a lot of work and has earned the respect of majority of the household. Victoria can't say the same.
No, she can't. No, but I don't think she'll be evicted next week. So I guess she did something right. Yes. Or she got lucky that someone else did something more wrong.
As long as we get more content from her and her wacky,
more spicy V.
HOH next time.
I hope this tells you how important it is to keep my name out of your mouth.
Kiefer better know. All right. Okay, so that's it for tonight. We'll be back. Check out our other channel, which is Live Long and Podcast, where we talk about Star Trek all week long too. On top of Big Brother, we do that on Tuesdays. We do Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Rewatching. We're in the 3rd season now, watching every episode in order. On Wednesdays, we talk about original series episodes where we watch those out of order with my dad and Jody and Adam and Jeff. And we also talked about Star Trek Picard and movies and Star Trek Lower Decks and all these shows. So if you've ever watched an episode of a Star Trek episode or a movie, we probably have a podcast to go with it, or we're working on it. So check all that out. We also do Star Trek Radio Theater, where we argue about TV's. No, that's Trivial Debates. Star Trek Radio Theater is where we reenact the scripts and we read the scripts from the episodes. This will be tomorrow night at 9 p.m. We're going to be doing an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine called Statistical Probabilities, which is a really interesting episode about people sort of with social disabilities and human augments and some science fiction elements as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun, I think, to do this episode. And I'm going to be playing Cisco and Kira. I get to be the captain and the first officer because that's how I roll. And we got to have Alex Blackburn as a special guest from Scotland. He's going to be playing the role of Leggett Damar, and I just can't wait to hear a Scottish Damar. So check that out. And also Trivial Debates, our monthly show where we argue about TV, sports, movies, all that kind of stuff. It's on the last Sunday of every month, and we always have 3 contestants and a judge. Check all that out. Jaemeel, thank you very much. Again, happy birthday to your mom.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to me.
Yes.
It's about me, really. So but thank you. It's almost over. I got an hour and a half left. So, and then
pre-party, post-party, post-birthday bash.
Birthday weekend, man.
Yes.
It's a long weekend, even though I got to work tomorrow. So it's lots going on. Okay, well, thanks so much. And we're signing off. Thank you. And I got the thing. Remember, where is it?